This should be the scariest video you've ever seen. If you recall, when the Smithsonian officially debunked chemtrails, I told you right then that this was actually the start of the end. When they came out and they took their one last try to make everybody look stupid on chemtrails like that right there. The picture that they provided wasn't real in any way whatsoever. I told you it was the start, and it is. What you are about to watch right now is not fake news. It's not from some tabloid magazine. It's not from some quote unquote conspiracy theorist website. This is from Harvard. This is David Keith once again raising up his ugly head to push this on us again. They are about to spray the planet to an epidemic, catastrophic Armageddon type level. Listen to these scientists from Harvard.
This is not a substitute for cutting emissions.
One aspect of the climate problem that people sometimes don't appreciate is the timescale. The fact that a large fraction of the carbon we're putting in the atmosphere will still be there thousands, even tens of thousands of years from now. But another part of the timescale of climate change is the timescale of the energy systems on which our society is built. Switching our energy system from a fossil fuel-based one like it is today to a non-fossil energy system would take, at the very least, many, many decades, and probably much more than a century, and tens of trillions of dollars, and that's just for the US alone. The numbers are just staggering. Many of us who have looked at the energy systems of the world and the climate system have a feeling that we may actually not be able to switch our energy system over in time to avoid the worst consequences of climate change. And this is really why solar geoengineering, I think, is an important thing to look at very carefully.
Solar geoengineering refers to a set of technologies that could allow humanity to deliberately increase the planet's reflectivity, reflecting away some sunlight, and so partially offsetting the temperature changes and other climate changes that come from the accumulation of carbon dioxide. This is not a substitute for cutting emissions. If we want a stable climate, in the end, we must bring emissions to zero. But it is a powerful supplement. It could reduce the risks of climate change in ways that we cannot reduce them by simply cutting emissions. It could allow us to reduce temperature extremes that cause real human suffering, deaths from heat waves, losses of crops that will cause real damage in the poorest parts of the world, big storms that are some of the most dangerous things about climate change. So the benefits of solar geoengineering in the form of reduced climate risk, reduced crop loss, reduced sea level rise, might amount to something like 1% of global GDP. And surprisingly, solar geoengineering can be very inexpensive. The cost might be something like $10 billion for the whole planet. That sounds like a lot of money each year, but in fact that's something like 1/10,000th of global GDP. So the benefits might be 1,000 times larger than the costs, which is just stunning. And that's why we need a research program.
It turns out there is no government funding at the moment for.
Now you need to bear in mind, David Keith has been beating this drum for well over a decade. Now they have pulled Harvard in on it, and they're going to sell this to everyone. This is the most important topic, bar none. Screw CERN, screw Pizzagate, screw everything else. Every single solitary one of us on this earth, whether it's flat, whether it's round, whether it's shaped like a pear, does not matter. We all need to breathe. The people in charge of this obviously have some sort of a plan in place where this won't affect them, but it's affecting us in droves through the aluminum people have been ingesting for years. For all of those that thought this was a conspiracy theorist, it's either you're an absolute idiot or it's time to wake up, because Harvard's now telling you that they can indeed spray the sky like you've been watching them do for the last 10 years. Our governments are corrupt. The entire earth, every single person in charge every single politician, every single policeman, every single soldier, you need to stand up and wake up because they're going to spray the atmosphere. It appears that they're trying to kill off everyone on this earth at one time because human beings cannot ingest barium sulfuric acid, whatever it is they call it. We can't breathe it in. The solar engineering that they claim they need to do for global warming is simply more of what they've been doing for years. It's what my channel was started on, chemtrails. Look up, people. Airplanes don't leave miles long X's and sprays in the sky that blot out the sun completely. Where are the bunny rabbits we used to see in the clouds? Where are the angels we used to see in the clouds? The clouds are now long, linear, straight lines that spread out and turn into a mat in front of the sun and totally block it out by the end of the day. You want to know what that is? It's these people. They are finally coming out exactly like I told you they would when the Smithsonian came out a few months ago and completely debunked chemtrails. Here's your evidence. If you don't see the signs right now, you are now against humanity. There's nothing more I can say. It's either you're awake or you aren't.
At the moment for solar geoengineering, practically none. We have the National Academy of Sciences recommending to proceed with research on solar geoengineering. NGOs, Environmental Defense Fund, where I just spent the better part of a decade, is recommending careful research as well. And none of it is happening.
One of the reasons that people are so hesitant to have solar geoengineering is they think that that will lead us to do less in terms of curbing greenhouse gases.
No. Do you see how they're giving you the Hegelian dialectic right here? One of the reasons people don't want to spray the atmosphere with particles of metals is because that makes that we won't cut back on CO2 emissions. Do you see how they're giving you the answers? Do you see how they're I can't even believe I have to make this video, but people don't care about this stuff. This petition is old news. It was started by Obama's old science czar. 10,000 PhDs, 32,000 American scientists signed this petition. This is indeed a real thing. But then you have things like Yahoo Answers right here trying to debunk it. This is real. Any scientist that stood up against the global warming agenda lost his funding, lost his job, or ended up with child porn on his computer. That's how they deal with it. This is indeed real. Links will be in the description. If I sound outrageous because this is outrageous, every single channel on YouTube should be making a video about this because they're going to bump up the spraying to epidemic proportions. Why do you think they have a seed vault? Because they're going to kill off everything that humans need to live, including humans.
Countries have not been very aggressive in stepping forward in controlling these greenhouse gases. But let's assume that I even thought that this would affect things 1% in terms of the greenhouse gases that were reduced. I would still go ahead with solar geoengineering because I think that we're on a very unpleasant course and we have to do something about it. Solar geoengineering is the most promising technology that we have today.
Do you see this? Spread this video, share this video, put this video everywhere. Make this viral. I've never asked my 50,000 plus subscribers to make a video viral. Make this viral. They are going to step up geoengineering like humanity has never seen before, and now they're going to use Harvard. They have come out of the closets. They are done denying this. They're going to now use this as the solution to the chemtrailing they've been doing for over 2 decades. Richie from Boston, the most important video on YouTube right now, bar none, is this. Spread this. I'm out.